Good afternoon. It's Monday, the 13th of July at noon here in the UK, here in Aylesbury in Buckinghamshire. I make a point of that because I'm going to be talking about a local author today. And this is the second in a new series called Tell Us About Your Books. So I'm hoping to have authors with me. So they will be introducing themselves, telling us about themselves and their books. This it does differ a little bit, goes into more detail about their books. You may, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see if you scroll down that there are 74 author spotlights with these panels, these sessions in between. So in that, we talk about the author's journey from the first thing they wrote through to who sees the book when they finished it, who designs their covers, what kind of marketing they do, the genre they write, what they do when they're not writing, and what they're working on next. So we don't go into detail about their books. So these Tell Us About Your Books is a little bit of an introduction to themselves and then talking about and reading from their books. Really, the whole point of Self-Pub Fest is to get more better focus on initially self-published authors. And the only prerequisite with Self-Pub Fest is if you want to appear at Aylesbury twice a year, April and October, the Aylesbury event, then you do have to have at least one self-published book. To appear in anything online, it doesn't matter. You could be a reader, an unpublished writer, a published author with one book, traditional or self-published, it really doesn't matter, or a long-standing with loads of books. So really to anybody in the publishing world, I would say industry, because readers, publishing world. And so the first one was about me and my books, and you'll see all my books there. And so I have been asked whether I'll do an author spotlight, me, and I will. I'm going to save that for the 100th, because I'm hoping, we've got 74, so 25 more before I do mine, that I will have something else published because it's been too long. Now, normally I will sit further across because you can't really see the banner. So the website is self-pub-fest.co.uk. Other variations lead to it, but that's the domain where you can see everything. And but I'm sitting like this further across because these three slots, one is empty because I've got the books here. I'm gathering self-published authors' books. So when I go to charity shops or when I get given books for local book swap libraries, book libraries, little libraries, the council do little libraries, which aren't necessarily swap, you can just take a book. So look up little libraries because they're all over the world. They're chartered. And I have a very nice man who's building a library to go in his front driveway, and that will probably be registered as well. That's a conversation we're going to have. Because then it just gets it into the network and people can find their local little libraries and see that that's where it is. So yeah, very kind person. So the person I'm going to talk about today, because I thought if I've got nobody here to talk about their books, and I have just bought some social media software, social media scheduling software, so I can load it all up and get social media out there without spending too much of my time. So I thought I would start with somebody. I have 5 of his books that I think I've got through. I may have bought from charity shops or got from local book swaps. I've tried to get in contact with him, and I've Googled him. I've gone through his website and contacted him that way on a contact form. I've gone on social media and contacted him, and we get so much spam these days that he could have just thought it was spam. So he's published, I don't know, it feels like it's self-published because it's got they're published by Amazon. So it could be that his publisher, he's on a Pegasus publisher, publishing, publishers. So Pegasus, as in the winged bird, pegasuspublishers.com/author/Christian Winship. So that's how you see his name. So I have 5 of his books, and I think they're sci-fi. So I'll go through them in no particular order, they just happen to be size order. So this is the first one, Stand and Deliver. I will read his biography out so you get a feel for him, and I will find a picture. Oh no, I don't have subpages anymore. Anyway, you can Google, go to that Pegasus page or go on Amazon. Amazon doesn't have a biography, which is why I've gone this way. So Christian Winship was born on the 12th of August, so he's a Leo like me. In fact, about a week apart, of August, 12th of August 1986, so much younger than me, in Aylesbury, UK, which is where I am. He grew up in a small village called Long Marston, and that's near Tring. I know Long Marston quite vaguely, but yeah, it's near Tring in Hertfordshire, so it's just on the Buckinghamshire-Hertfordshire border. And he had an instant love for all things space and comedy, having grown up watching Blackadder, as I did, Red Dwarf, as my husband did, Father Ted and Monty Python religiously. He has a background in graphic design and art, so may have done his own covers, but found writing to be his strong point. Chris worked for a construction company for many years, which allowed him to progress with writing. Don't know how one follows the other, but there we go. Maybe gaps in time, or was away so he could have time to write. The Discount Multi-Universe is his... Do I have that one? I do. That's the biggest. It's massive. Biggest, thickest book. And it's got a wonderful cover. It says, may require assembly. The Discount Multiverse. It is, and it's a big old book. It's probably about, I haven't got a tape measure hand. It's probably about 10 by 8. And it's 429 pages. And it just ends with the epilogue. No, nothing else in between. But this looks to be a bit bigger. Let's read this one. Oh no, this is the same. Discount Multiverse is his second publication. He hopes to expand this into an ongoing series. All artwork he does alongside writing the Discount Multiverse can be found on Instagram. I haven't contacted him on this. Hashtag the Discount Multiverse. There we go. So that's that cover again. So let's start with that one. Before there was the complexity of the countless universes, before life had rooted and set foot within the chaotic twists of the multiverse, and prior to any known star system, galaxy cluster, or spatial vibration, there existed only a single-dimensional level. This is the kind of thing that my husband loves. This was the highest plane of reality, although he reads on Kindle. This was the highest plane of reality where time and space simultaneously prevailed. Within this continuum of matter and antimatter, and my husband will know what this is all about, lived a race of omnipotent beings, free to create whatever they wished, living without even the concept of age nor death. But, always has to be a but, there was one dissatisfied being who longed to return to the days when one could create, do crafts and manufacture things by hand. God. No one understood his obsession with this, antediluvian pursuit, and this made God sad and frustrated. He turned to the bottle. He went to the shopkeeper. He wanted something he could build. He bought a multiverse at a discounted price, failing, in his inebriated state, to realise that there was a critical part missing. This lapse of concentration on the part of God was to have untold and almost infinite, not to say utterly disastrous, consequences. That sounds really good, actually. I don't know why I should be surprised, but sci-fi is not my... Oh, we have a picture of Christian. There he is. I am going to build a page for him. So if you know Christian Winship, please tell him I've done this. So this is the sequel that he was hoping of writing in his biography. So his biography needs updating. The sequel to the Discount Multiverse lives, and now the gods come marching. So glad I read them in this order. Once God and his closest friends had at long last, after some 30+ billion years, fixed the discount multiverse, it was now time for the new gods and goddesses to pull their weight. Though some gods are tricksters and some are simple-minded, some want everything and others merely want to live forever. They're space giants who only want their land back, and the god giant Bajuric is willing to go to the ends of the multiverse to get it. Very good. Only space beer, cider, and a dash of cosmic luck can change the fate of existence this time. Until it happens again. Very good. Now I'm just going to look at something because I have another, I have a sci-fi author I used to edit for. Oh, I can't find it. Okay. I'm gonna have to think of his name before the his first name. The last name's gone out my head, and he has a middle initial, so I don't want to get it wrong. Let me just have a look. My previous lines. Here we go. I put them in years. How over efficient of me. Where are you, Scott? There we go. Scott A. Drumroll. Scott A. Coombs. Scott SCOTT, and then initial A, and then COMBS. Combs. I should know. I don't meet my client. I'm going to have to do this now. When a new client, I never advertise because I'm usually booked ahead, and so invariably if I spot people looking for editors, it's never good to advertise yourself, but if I'm tagged in, then absolutely that would be fine. That'd be great, in fact, because never say never. But I don't advertise. It tends to be word of mouth, recommendation, people spotting me, and I've edited probably coming up to 400 books. I say 300 and something, but coming up to 400 books. And so Scott A. Combs was one of mine. I think we did three books, 2 or 3 books together on Scrivener. So this next one, I don't know if it's the next one. Oh yes, great. The sequel, this is The Nefarious Fixer. It's interesting how the first 2 books are glossy and the next one's matte. I prefer glossy. Do have a look at our 5th of July all-day festival, because the second session was on book covers. So this is the sequel to The Gods of the Multiverse. The Nefarious Fixer is here. The fairy goddess has been brutally murdered, and all fingers point to the fixer. With the reappearance of dragons, an amphibian civil war to orchestrate, and the heist of the century to oversee, the fixer's stag party will be one for the books. And then there's a quote from somebody called Norman. The impossible and infinitive cosmos has magnificence set within it her faults, and with it comes eternity. Interesting. Okay, Nefarious Fixer. That's that one. Then I don't know whether these might be. This feels like these feel like new ones, so I'm going to just go with the next one I have, which is the Serfdom Brute. Oh, and now we've got C.P.W. Winship. So it's Christian. Now it's C.P.W. Winship. There we go, called the Serfdom Brute. So this may be like Ian Banks and Ian M. Banks. It may be, excuse me, it may be that Christian writes slightly different genres. We'll find out in a minute when I read it. So this is the Serfdom Brute. There's a fantastic cover again. I like that cover. So Yoshida shrugged, and then there's speech. Who said first contact had to be a handshake, Captain? Oh, it had to be a handshake. Captain, from this day forwards, man will be truly part of the stars. And if there are threats out there, And if there are threats out there as great as the vessel, then man needs his first steps to be heavy-footed. We cannot afford to be timid in these great days. So I haven't read this in advance. I probably should have done, but it's always interesting to see what stumbles. If you see someone else read or hear someone else reading your work, what they stumble over. So perhaps this is only fairly, that's that bit I've just read. So could have perhaps been done differently. So the natural breaks are at the end of the line. The vessel appeared in Earth's orbit. I love the font. I may not be able to get this close enough. You can't really see. Love the font. The vessel appeared in Earth's orbit and began its bombardment. It's got IT apostrophe S, should be ITS. Its bombardment. In a matter of days, Earth's population had been levelled and destruction on a planetary scale burned fiercely in every land. Now Earth fights back, sending the warship Retaliation to seek revenge on the alien intruders. It's up to Captain Jerome Lawrence to make them pay. So this is still sci-fi. And stamp mankind tenacity in the stars in what would be man's first outing from the solar system. Inside the dome, however, Claret Marks, fantastic, an engineer, is coming to realise all is not what it seems in the sheltered streets of an isolated London. That the vessel, whatever its reason, so it's correct, it's there, whatever its reason for travelling light years to Earth, were not limited to the planet's destruction. Now both Captain Jerome Lawrence and engineer Claret Marks, don't really need their full things again, but there we go, are against the clock before an even greater threat comes looking for mankind. Very good. So that's the Serfdom Brute. So do go and buy these. Do support your indie authors. And then the final one is the one I showed right at the beginning called Stand and Deliver. Again, another fantastic cover. C.P. Winship. I'm going to have a look at the dates in the front on the copyright page before I read the last one. So the Gods of the Multiverse, I think, was the first one. And we've got 2022. So they're quite modern, quite recent. They do look quite fresh, actually. So Discount Multiverse was 2022. Published 2022. Oh, this doesn't seem to have, the next one doesn't seem to have a copyright page, which is, maybe I've got I love this beetle. What a fantastic beetle. Yeah, it doesn't have a copyright page. There's a dedication, and then the other, oh gosh, he's got lots of other books. The Chronicles of Drurik, Bjurik, Time Streams, Qual's Odyssey, The Second Coming, Destinial Cosmosity. These could be chapter. Oh, they are. They're maybe short stories then. That was the Gods of the Multiverse. So there may be stories. Or sections, chapter headings. I suspect chapter headings. Yeah, and then just ends with an epilogue, 343 pages, so no copyright. So I don't know, but it'll be after 2022. And then, as we know, the Nefarious Fixer is the next one, because that was and yeah, there are 3 sections. Again, no copyright page. So I'm guessing these are not, I don't know, they were Pegasus books. Anyway, so the next one, hopefully, no copyright page. But these list the there's Codex is the 4th book in the Multiverse. And then, so they're Christian Winship. And then books by C.P.M Winship, Unbalanced, Stand and Deliver, which I'll read in a minute, and the Serfdom Brute, which is that one. So no copyright page, but they come afterwards. So I'm guessing they're very, very modern, very, very new. So perhaps if one book a year, Discount Multiverse 2022, Gods of the Multiverse 2023, Nefarious Fixer 2024, Serfdom Brute 2025, Stand and Deliver, which may or may not have, no, it doesn't have a copyright page. Should always have a copyright page. Long Live the Highwaymen, that's the dedication right at the front. So yeah, always have a copyright page. You need to protect yourself. and then ends with, I'm guessing, an epilogue. No, chapter 45. This is a bit shorter, a smaller book. So that's these are the standard. I think they're these 5x8. Yeah, 5x8, which I prefer. And then these are, they're definitely bigger than 6x9. So I'm guessing 10x8, 8x10. So yeah, so I'm guessing now 3 Pegasus books and then two direct C.P.M Winship. So yeah, we don't have a date on this, but stand and deliver. It's the last one I'm going to read. Out on the road, a highwayman is free, like a creature born to the wild. There came no rules but the rule of survival. On a distant world, mankind's furthest colony relies for survival from the highwaymen. Tasked with the upkeep of the 2 cities, Highwayman Manor and his crew uncover deeper meaning than human survival. When a creature from Manor's past finds his location and forces his hand. In the fight between man and beetle and the true ownership of the galaxy, Highwayman Manor, that's a bit of a mouthful, must come to terms with which side he stands on and decide, 2 sides, sorry, I never switch off the editing brain, and decide if mankind are worth saving. Time is running out for Highwayman Manor, realising that he could not escape his true duties whether he chooses a side or not. One victor will rise above the other. Very good. Really good. I'm so impressed. Sadly, it's not my genre. And like my husband, Tim, we both read Kindle. Oh, he reads on his iPad. I have a Kindle Fire. And so I have it on text to speech, which reads it out to me, which means I can be doing other stuff while I listen. But also, because I write in Word, it's I do like the idea. I have used Scrivener in the past. I mentioned Scott A. Combs earlier on, he's the only client I've ever had who wanted Scrivener. In fact, he bought it for me, which is very kind, so that I could work with him. And we did a couple of books together. And yes, you just drag and drop. It doesn't work with text to speech unless it's changed. I do tend to upgrade my Kindle when a new version comes out, just for speed more than anything else. It tends to be a better processor. And so it has press and play. It's on the screen. You can amend the text so that I tend to have it quite large. So if I'm pausing it or you can swipe it and it will stop it. Well, it used to on the old ones. Now you have to tap the screens to pause it. Previously, if you just swiped it, it would stop it. So I had it quite large print, so it didn't go back too far. Anyway, so yes, so we read on. Listen to audiobook. He reads on his iPad. So, but he does know I've mentioned these to him, so hopefully he will buy them. So that's it. So today was all about Christian Winship, who these are the books that I've got of his. So let's do it. Oh, upside down. Let's do it that way so you can see them. So you can screenshot this to see what the books that I've covered, and I will mention them. I'll create a page for him, and hopefully at some point, he's born in 1986. He's a couple of decades younger than me. Yeah, a couple of decades younger. And so he's been very prolific. If the first one came out in 2022, and I've got 5 books, he's written more than that. That's amazing, especially that thick. The first one at 700 and something pages, amazing. So Christian, if you're watching this, hello, please do get in touch. Email me, Morgen at Morgan Bailey, it's MORGEN, Morgan at morganbailey.com. I'd love to get you involved, have you on panels, and anybody else you know, anybody watching this, if you're a reader, unpublished writer, so you write but you haven't been published yet, or you don't have any books, maybe you've been published in magazines or something. Anyway, anybody who's interested in writing can take part. Published authors, if you're self-published, traditionally published, very welcome. They're the online ones. To take part in a panel in Aylesbury, Christian's birth town, my hometown, then you do have to have at least one self-published book, because we sell them in the bookshop, in our bookshop, and you get 100%. You get all the cover price, you tell us, you get 100% of it. We take anything out of card payments and so on, out of ticket sales. And it's, the next one is the 4th, Sunday the 4th of October in Aylesbury at the Holiday Inn. And it's 10 o'clock in the morning, get there from 9 o'clock until finishes at 6. And we've got 5 panels of 4, 20 authors who will be there talking on the nuts and bolts of publishing. So if you're interested in publishing, come along. If you're interested in reading indie authors, fantastic books, come along. The tickets are £15 for the whole day. The authors do not pay anything. I offer them a free +1 ticket, so their spouses or friend, they don't pay anything, and they get 100% of their books. If they're not bringing anybody, then the £15 goes to 3 local charities. The first one, so a third of the money goes to each of the 3 charities, and we've raised over £400, 421 I think, so far, and we've got October to come. That's really good. So one is Beacon Lit, who've just had their Beacon Festival on Saturday. It's now 2 days later, which is fantastic. Save the date for the next one. It's in the Ivinghoe. They raise money for Ivinghoe Beacon, hence the Beacon Lit community libraries. And it took place at the Village Hall in Marsworth. Really good venue, so we may go there again next year. I'll have to check with Dave Sivers, who's a crime writer. Must get him on. We need to do a tell us about your books, but he's always so busy. He's still working, as most of us are when we're indie writers. And so yes, then so Beacon Lit, so a third of the profits at the end of the year will go to them towards next year's festival. So I'm hoping to get £200 each. So we only need a couple of £100, and people are donating. So please, if you've got a bit of money watching these for free, I have the link at the bottom of this YouTube and all the pages if you're looking at this on the Self Pub Fest website, which is, can move back over now, oh, wrong way, selfpubfest.co.uk. There we go. So that's the website. If you're seeing this on YouTube, you can watch everything on YouTube anyway. So it's been a pleasure going through Christian Winship's and also our C.P.M Winship. So I will create a page for him. This video will be on it. I hope that he will join me, because his biography needs updating, because it says Discount Multiverse's 2nd publication. He hopes to expand this into an ongoing series. It is an ongoing series. Just looking at the titles in the cover, inside the cover. And Christian, if you're watching this, you need copyright pages. Protect yourself. So it's been a pleasure going through somebody else's book. I will do the same if there are any of these, if there are any sessions that that don't have anybody joining me. We've had loads of people, and it's gone a bit quiet. I think it's summer, some holidays, people are busy. World Cup, people are watching the World Cup. So either it will be me talking about a topic and then I'll repeat it later on in September, probably, I think, in the next gaps. Or else I will make it a tell us about your books and pick one of these. At the first one there is Alasdair McIver. He's a local author. They're not all local authors. No one hears you scream. He has featured in some of the panels, so he already has a page. But I will mention it next time he's on. Hopefully he'll do a tell us about your books, but I'll contact him. He knows I've got his book. And so some of the others. And I'll do one at a time. So I like to keep having content. I don't want to not have a session. At least have something. Me talking about the topic, or I create it as change it to tell us about your books. So I hope this is interesting. Do go and look at all the other videos. There are 130 something on YouTube. Let me have a look, see if it tells me how many there are on YouTube. 144. They're not all Self-Pub Fest. There are odd ones in between, early ones especially. And the author spotlights, there are 74 of those. So roughly probably 60 panels we've done so far, 10 miscellaneous and 74 spotlights. And they vary from, the last one I did was, where are we, Monday, Thursday, was on book reviews. And that was 15 minutes, 58 seconds. And then the one before that was a tell us about your books. That was mine. That was 46 minutes. And then one before that was the all day marketing was the last session. That was 5th of July, marketing, and that was just over an hour. Most of them just over an hour. So I will be replicating the panels on YouTube, on TikTok. I think I'm Morgan Bailey or Morgan Writer UK. I think I'm Morgan Writer UK. It's Morgen Writer UK on most of social media. So thank you for listening. This will go up on YouTube and Self-Pub Fest. And Christian, if you're watching this, you now have a page on Self-Pub Fest. Thank you for watching.